Yo, I've been waiting for Friday all week long. Not really. It's just Friday, though. We're talking about Lithia recording a record, a rural dealer group launching its first EV in a GM program, and Zoom calls on airplanes?
Everywhere I go, the people
that sounds really annoying, by the way.
Yeah, look, when I
don't want to be on a Zoom call on an airplane. I don't want to see anyone else on a Zoom call on an airplane.
No. If you are making a Zoom call next to me on an airplane, it would be my great honor to make that a terrible Zoom call for everybody else.
I'm going to ask for the pretzels, and I'm just going to be like,
reach right over, right in the middle of the camera. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Like, wave to everybody else on the call. We'll talk about that in a second. Kyle's all messed up because get this, everybody lean in. Kyle had a layover yesterday. His neck's all messed up. So Kyle lives in Nashville. So he's always like, oh, there's no direct flights because Nashville has direct flights everywhere. And by the way, he's always like, oh, I don't know if I want to go to the second best coffee shop in Nashville or the third best coffee shop in Nashville when I walk through the airplane. So he had a layover. And when he complains about a layover, the rest of the world tries to keep their middle fingers down.
Literally, the Pacific Northwest, Seattle, and the Great Northeast, like Syracuse, Burlington, like those. That's it. That's the only places I can't get direct. It's unbelievable.
I think you just said it right. It's the Great Northeast.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy, here we go.
Hey, I'm excited because I'm going to be going to Nashville for the second time ever. I've only been to Nashville actually once. It was for a Donald Miller thing. And it was like pre-pandemic.
We're gonna say this is like I kind of made the unofficial announcement.
Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be my third time in Nashville. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
the official, unofficial announcement. Yeah.
This is the official, unofficial. I kind of made the unofficial, official announcement in the lead in the email the other day, but today we can officially announce that we are doing the year-end extravaganza, that we are hosting it in Nashville, that it is going to be something like you've never seen before. Probably something that we've never done before. Even if you saw year-end extravaganza last year, you're gonna be like, "What these guys doing?" And yeah, we're really excited I'm excited. My wife's excited to host everyone in Nashville. She's like, "Look at all these cool things we can do." There's actually this really neat, and not a lot of people know about it, like antique car museum in Nashville. So if you're coming around Nashville in December, you might want to go see the little car museum.
Yeah. A nice little. It's going to be on the 20th, so it's Tuesday, December 20th. We already have a date. We have a location. And we're going to have a live studio audience this year.
Yeah.
So we're going
to know someone who knows someone to get there.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And that'll probably be a mix of dealer guests. Some of our sponsors, I'm sure, will want to go. But we're doing the whole thing. Live band. It's going to be a thing. So, okay. Didn't plan on announcing it, but we just announced it. Great. More details to come. Now we got to put a post out or something.
Links and all those things. They're coming.
But it's Friday. It's fall time. Everybody seems to be in a pretty good mood lately. And speaking of people in a pretty good mood.
Stop.
Segue.
Time.
Lithia Motors hit a Q3 record, all-time record, as their net income increased by 6.9% to just over $330 million, and total revenue jumped 18% to $7.3 billion. As reported in their quarterly earnings call. Both new and used sales were up, both 4.3% on new, 6.4% on used. They continued to buy and sell their dealerships throughout this. This is a cool one. So they did return to the Wisconsin market, but they purchased 5 Airstream dealers in October. So I know October's not Q3, but they wanted to announce it on the call. They now own 5 Airstream dealers.
And naturally they're in the Pacific Northwest.
Absolutely.
Which is like they also, interestingly enough, also purchased 3 Birkenstock stores. No, that's a lot. That's not true. That's I'm messing with.
Opened a mini mall that has a Patagonia, right? Because you never know when a hike. Was it Jim Gaffigan? You never know. Everyone's dressed like a random hike might just break out.
Right, just break out. Yes.
And so the Airstream dealers are interesting, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that. Some interesting data too from them on average car prices. Average new car sold $47,000. Average used car, $30,000. So the new car number actually went up 11%, already super high, up 11% more. But as we all know, the used car market is a changing. Used car sale down 19% on their average gross. How about that?
Which is interesting because included in the used car sale opportunities is Driveway, which pushes much more on the used car side. So, you just wonder is like inventory acquisition or the right inventory or what's
got to be
happening
what
there.
it is. I mean, you think of
Yeah.
any company being aggressive in their used car strategy, they're going to have to be aggressive on the buy side first.
Yep.
And if you were going to be aggressive on the buy side when prices are high, you are like, disproportionately exposed to when the dip happens. Like you're going to be holding the bag a little bit. You just have to, be sure that you're ready to handle it. CEO Brian DeBoer said on the call, our teams are focused on improving operating leverage and fundamentals as fundamentals normalize across the industry. So everybody's starting to sing that tune of operational efficiency.
Operational efficiency, because here's the thing. When's the last time that you've seen used car total gross averages 50% of new car total gross averages, which is what they're actually less than 50%, which is what Lithia is experiencing right now. So what that means is if for some reason new car grosses go back to or close to what they were before, you have to dial in efficiency in your operational processes, in your expense structures, and all of that. It's definitely, it's a telling tale. And I think just in the dealers that we communicate with on a regular basis, this is something that everyone is looking at. People are looking at aged inventory that they didn't really care about at some point. David Long, thanks for mentioning that. There's an age issue and inventory recycling is happening. Operators are going, hey, look, if we haven't been on a tight turn, let's keep on that tight turn. And so that's why you see grosses start to go down. That's why you start to see, inventory shrinking to manage expectations. And so then you see sales volume going down. It's all just this trickle down effect.
That's truth. Trickle down.
There we go.
Speaking of trickle.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Now I'm going to tie that one together.
Okay,
I'm now going to tie that one together.
Help me out with it.
So you know what a trickle charge is, right?
I know exactly what a trickle charge is. It takes
Okay. Well, there you go.
8 hours to get your car charged.
Yeah, your car or like a motorcycle battery.
The trickle charger for a car takes like 23 hours or something crazy like that.
It's also the
coming off
healthiest
of
for the
120.
battery. It's healthiest for the battery.
Yeah,
well,
right.
GM's dealer community charging program, which was announced actually last year, they finally installed their first 2 level 2 EV chargers. The Wheelers Family Auto Group in Marshfield, Wisconsin, are the first to install the 2 chargers. Owner Mary Jo Wheeler says this is the first one in North America to offer this. We'll put Marshfield on the map. This is a great stop for people commuting from other areas to stop and check out our community and see all Marshfield has to offer. I love that. Making it like, hey, this is kind of a drive-through community, but not anymore if you're in an EV.
I wouldn't even call it like a drive-through community. Just throwing it out there.
I didn't open the map. I didn't look at where it is.
Open maps. I've got it pulled up. Maybe Isaac, the old producer, maybe he can get it pulled up. But Madison and Milwaukee are kind of like your big Wisconsin cities, and then you got Wausau, which is kind of close, and Chippewa Falls. This is like in the middle. Yeah, Green Bay. This is at least a couple hours from Green Bay, maybe like 3 hours. It looks like.
Which direction?
It's completely west, and so there's
gotcha.
just nothing happening out there. I mean, I'm proud of them for expecting
super proud
a bunch of Visit Marshfield tourist attraction actions. Maybe Marshfield is really cool. But what I'm
they
really
made it
proud
on the
of them
show
about
this morning. That's all I'm saying.
That they're leaning in. That they're and I think like if a rural dealership in Wisconsin where questions on EV charging with the cold weather are already high, if they can pull this off and they see a path to efficiency, a path to customer acquisition or customer stopping by or anything like that, then shoot, if you're a suburban or urban dealership, let's go.
What do you think? So the co-owner Daniel Wheeler said there aren't a lot of chargers in central Wisconsin, and we talked about this a few weeks ago now about just like the charging deserts, right? As you get up north, Midwest, there's just not a lot of people that have EVs. So he says, but there are a ton of people coming north, commuting north, right? And he's like, so he sees like a little flow there. The deal group purchased 5 chargers total for $4,400 each. So $22,000 total is their investment. The GM program plans on installing 40,000 level 2 chargers across North America. Oh, thank you. We got the map up now. Well, there it is. Big red arrow, little red marker. I got you.
I mean,
So
I guess if you're going from Green Bay to Minneapolis, you could take
that's a long drive, sir.
It is a long drive. But
I hope there are a couple more chargers.
Little country roads, and get out there into Marshfield.
But get this stat. GM notes that 90% of all Americans live within 10 miles of a GM dealership. Now that's a freaking network. That is a network. But let me say this. I think that thinking locally, right? So they're taking the trend, they're taking like the broader need of EV. But I think most importantly, they're championing their community through this. So they spent 22 grand on the chargers. I guarantee you they are the talk of the town. And if you live in a small town, having something that feels like you're connecting to the bigger trends that you're hearing and seeing all over the place, I think that's going to do a whole lot for that dealership. Just local biz dev, right? If they took their marketing budget and their ad spend and they didn't do that for a few months and so that they could do this charger thing, I think that it's probably worth it because their brand has just taken a step up.
Yep. Exactly.
So I like that play all the way across, serving the community, building their brand, and being the first to prepare for the EV kind of the coming things with EV. And you and I have a soft spot in our hearts for the early adopters.
I love them. I'm proud of them. And hey, maybe we'll reach out and get a little one-on-one because
I like that idea.
These are some movers and shakers. So
good
on you, Wheeler's Family Auto Group. Good on you. I'm telling you what, I'm gonna say good on you on this next story. So speaking of good on yous,
stop. I was waiting to see. Actually, the whole show, I've really just been waiting to talk about this one.
Yeah, right. I flew yesterday, so I've really been waiting to talk about this one. Now, not the video call portion, but Starlink, Elon Musk's satellite internet service provider, who you've heard a lot of, especially because of the recent support of Ukraine, has announced that the high-speed internet service is coming to commercial aviation starting in 2023, offering the service as fast as, get this, 350 megabytes down per plane. Whoa, that's moving.
Let me back up for a second. If you don't know what Starlink is, so Starlink is satellite internet service. They've been launching satellites into space for the last 3 years, and now they have a pretty substantial mesh network up there. And so you can buy this. Our buddy Darren Doan has it. And it's like a little disc, and you just set it out on your property somewhere, and you can get high speed up and download, no matter where you are in the country or actually in the world. They've just found a way to pop this little sucker on top of a commercial airplane.
I wouldn't call it a little sucker. It's probably no,
it's not actually. No, big. It is. No, it isn't. It's actually super low profile. They have
low profile. It's like that skinny, but I mean, it's a little wide, but it's compared to a plane, it's not that huge. It's not
compared to a plane. And so typical airline speed. So, and the 350 megabytes is shared by everybody on the plane. The typical speed at max, when you have an airplane that has great internet, you have 100. That has to be shared by everybody. So they're saying now, video calls, online gaming, VPNs, so you can have secure communications from an airplane. Now, look, I'm not excited about people being on Zoom calls, or you're not even allowed to be on a phone call on a plane.
I don't think you're going to see this. Well,
I don't think so.
If you can do video calls, you could do you could easily do a FaceTime call.
Could you do a live stream? I'm asking for a friend
streaming from
We're gonna have to buy all
How
three
do you
seats.
like the peanuts,
We're buying all. Gonna walk down the plane. Oh, don't put anything past us. Don't put anything past us. But here's I think the very, very best part of this story. And if you go to the show notes, the link is in there, is the Starlink site. It's number one, it's beautiful. It's like you're buying an iPhone. Right. It has the features. It has the pricing on it.
It almost feels like if you had the money and you weren't an airline, you could figure out how to buy one of these things. Right.
It's unreal. Well, just the retailing side of this. I've never seen a commercial product retailed. Right. And I think it's a good note to take to auto dealers saying, look, they are retailing a $150,000 satellite uplink with a $12,000 to $25,000 a month subscription. And they made it simple. And they hit the key points, and then you can pre-order right on the site. So, look, I'm impressed.
I hope that every airline, like at minimum, like a Delta and an American, should just be all over this. Should be all
I
over
I
this.
will literally pick flights based on who has this and who doesn't have this.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the ability to work, the ability to be interactive, the ability to text, and all of those things that come with just like having that as access. And I really hope, I mean, this, when you break out the cost of this, it doesn't seem that aggressive, like, from a cost perspective for an airline per plane. And maybe I'm wrong about that.
I have no idea.
But like, you would think that this would be something that would be a new value add because of the access for customers.
I'm sure whatever they're doing now isn't cheap. It's got to be somewhat comparable. And I like how they also put a couple little features, which is basically a lifetime hardware warranty as long as you're a subscriber. So they just kind of made it easy. They just kind of made it easy. That's really all the time we have from now. We're about to jump into All Things Used Cars on Clubhouse. If you're listening on the live stream, follow us over the All Things Used Cars. If not, hey, tomorrow is a Saturday. You got 2 Saturdays left still in this month. So let's go get a little bit.